Welcome students to class 7th. Today we will continue with our third chapter, our changing earth. In this chapter we will be continuing about changing of the surface of the earth. Okay, as our chapter's name says, our changing earth. The lithosphere is broken into number of plates known as the lithospheric plates. Okay, the definition is very clear. That means the land is broken into number of plates and it is known as lithospheric plates. Lithosphere means land. Okay, it denotes land. You will be surprised to know that these plates moves around very slowly. Okay, how slowly? It is a few millimeter each year. Okay, this is because of the movement of molten magma inside the earth, and this is all because of the movements of the molten magma inside the earth. And this molten magma inside the earth moves in a circular manner. Okay, it is a like material. Okay, it is a burning material. Okay, it is very hot. Okay, then this moves in a circular manner, and the movement of these plates causes changes on the surface of the earth. That means, did you understand that due to this molten magma is moving in a circular manner, and this causes the movements of plates, and this plates movements causes the change on the surface of the earth. Okay, then these movements are divided in on the basis of the forces. And what are the forces? There are two types. They had categorized them in two forces. Okay, this movement that we have studied here, okay, this movement of the plates, okay, it is divided in on the basis of two forces. What are they? What are the forces? Endogenic and exogenic. Endogenic means inside and exogenic means outside. Students, look in your book, put textbook with you whenever you are watching the video. You will get all the doubts clear if you are having any kind of doubt. Okay, now I'll explain you about both the forces in some detail. First is endogenic force. Okay, what do you mean by endogenic force? Some endogenic forces are force which act in the interior of the earth. They are acting in the interior of the earth. Okay, sometimes they produce sudden movements and sometimes slow movements. So in case if they are producing sudden movements, producing means that there is a movement, sudden movement due to endogenic force, then it can cause earthquake, volcanoes, which can result in mass destructions, and it results over the, that means it results into the changing of the surface. Okay, this is all about the changing surface of the earth. Then is exogenic forces. These forces that work on the surface of the earth are called exogenic. As I already explained you what is the meaning of exogenic means, outside origin. Okay, it is originated outside the outside, or we can say on the earth's surface. Okay, see students, now I will explain you some terms. All these are covered in these two forces only. See, we have learned in endogenic forces, that when there is a sudden movement due to endogenic forces, it results into earthquake and volcanoes. So now we must also know the meaning of what is the earthquake, how it occurs, or what is the volcano, how it occurs. Okay, what are its after effects, all this. So first we will go through the volcano. A volcano is a vent in the earth's crust through which molten material erupts suddenly. Okay, look at the picture. This is the figure 3.2 in your book. Okay, you can see all the labels what are given. Lava, this red is lava, molten magma, it erupts out as volcano. There is a sudden movement due to endogenic forces, then this molten magma erupts outside. similarly, when the lithosphere plates move, the surface of the earth vibrates. Then these vibrations travels all around the earth. These vibrations are called earthquake. See. Okay? Did you understand the definition of earthquake? So now I will explain you some important terms in earthquake. It is all covered under earthquake. Okay? First you see the diagram. This you can draw in your copy, and also the diagram of volcano. Okay? So that it will be easy for you to understand about both the movements, sudden movements. Okay? So in this diagram you can see flat plate boundaries. Okay? Then epicenter, then seismic waves radiate out in all directions. Okay? Okay, then focus. Now I'll explain you all these terms. Epicenter. What do you mean by epicenter? The place on the surface above the focus is called the epicenter. Vibration travel outward from the epicenter as waves, and the greatest damage is usually closest to the epicenter, and the strength of the earthquake decreases away from the center. So what do you get from this? That it is a place on the surface just above the focus. And what is the focus point for this? So in this video, in this notes I have not written, but let I explain you what is the focus. The place in the crust where the movements starts. Okay, from the place from the movement of earthquake starts, vibration starts, that is known as focus. Okay, that is focus point. And the place just above the surface is epicenter. I already explained you. Okay. So with this all the terms are clear. Now let's go through the. So what is written? Some common earthquake predictions method adopted locally by people includes. So these are the predictions. Okay, that means they are not assured, but they are prediction that when earthquake come, then locally people took the precautions by means there is prediction, they are doing some kind of prediction that if animals behavior or ships in the pond fish in the ponds or snakes comes out of the surface, that means they are thinking that there will be an earthquake. Okay, all these are the predictions. So now major landforms. Now students, what we have learned about that, as the movements took place due to some forces, the land changed, then land transform, then all the major transforms are due to the landscape is being continuously worn away by two processes. What are the two processes? By these two processes landforms major landforms are there. What are they? Weathering and erosion. Okay, weathering and erosions are the major two forms. What do you mean by weathering? Weathering is the breaking up of rocks on the earth's surface. Weathering means it is breaking of the rocks. Rocks we have already known. Okay, what do you mean by rock? Already we have studied in your earlier classes. Okay, then erosion. Erosion is the wearing away of the landscape by different agents like wind, water and ice. Erosion is the wearing away of the landscape by different agents like water, wind and ice. Erosion means when like when there is rain. Okay, and as a rain comes, okay, if for example if there is some area on which there is no plant is there and there is only mud, then as the rain falls, that mud what happens? The soil flew, means they not flew, that soil just run with the water. Likewise through wind also, we have seen in summer seasons, when wind flows, then some mud is also with it. Okay, likewise this is the erosion, that means the wearing away of the landscape by different agents. And what are the agents? Through water, wind and ice. Okay. And now this process of erosion and depositions create different landform on the surface of the earth. Okay. The next heading is working of a river. In this, what does the meaning of this working of a river? The running water in the river erodes the landscape. When the river tumbles at steps, angles, over very hard rocks or down a steep valley, it forms a waterfall. So as the river is flowing and it stumbles at step angles. Step angles means like stairs we are going up and down, no? That stair. That means there are tumbles and step angles over hard rock or down a steep valley. Then it is known as waterfall. You all can see in the diagram 3.4. That is the waterfall. Okay. Then many terms are there like meanders. Okay. So what do you mean by meanders? As the river enters a plain, it twisted and turns, forming large bends. So when this river fall, like it is falling from somewhere, then afterwards it is bending like a snake. Okay. Then that are called meanders. You can look at the diagram 3.5. Features made by the river in a floodplain. Okay. That is meanders. Then due to continuous erosion and deposition around the sides of the meanders, the end of the meanders loops and come closer and closer. In due course of time, the meanders loops cuts off from the river and form a cut-off lake, also called as Oxbow Lake. Then what is formed through meanders? See, with the continuous erosion I already explained you. Then continuous erosion and deposition. What happens? The meanders form some covered with mud and okay. With all that they covered and they form a different lake. And what is known as that lake? Oxbow Lake. You can look at the diagram 3.5. Okay. You will get all their doubts clear. At times the river overflow its banks. This leads to the flooding of the neighboring areas. Okay. As it flowed, it deposited layer of fine soil and other materials called sediments along its bank. This leads to the formation of a flat, fertile food plains, and this forms food plains. How it is formed? As the water is overflow from the river, then it what happens? The neighboring areas got flooded, and that flood it contains sediments. What are the sediments of? Fine soil, and this form the food plains. Okay. Then you can see in the diagram. Okay. Food plains, how food plains are formed? The raised banks are called leaves. Raised means the something not equal in some upper. Okay. That is they are raised. Raised banks, that means like some mountain, not a big mountain, but some steeps are formed. Okay. That is leaves. As the river approaches the sea, the speed of the flowing water decreases and the river begins to break up into a number of streams called distributaries. And another important definition is of distributaries, that as the river approaches the sea, okay, as the river approaches the sea, the speed of the flowing water, what happens? It decreases. The speed of water decreases, and what happens then? Then the rivers begins to break up. Okay, how it breaks? It forms number of streams. Like if the water stops flowing very fast, then what happens? It broke into streams, and that streams are called distributaries. We already learned about rivers and its distributaries. Okay, that is known as distributaries. You can look at the diagram in 3.6. Figure 3.6. Okay. This is main river and distributary. Okay. All the main river is there, then it forms different stream, and that is distributaries. Then what happens? The river begins so slow that it begins to deposit its load. Each distributary forms its own mouth. The collection of sediments from all the mouth form a delta. Then what happens? As the speed of the flowing water in the river becomes so slow, then what happens? It begins to deposit its load. Okay. Then each distributary has their own mouth. Then this collection of sediments from all the mouth form a delta. That is the definition for delta. In notes, students, I have given you only a short, because it is not necessary to write everything in that note, but I will explain you so that you can answer all the questions in case any different question come from the text. Okay. Then next is work of a sea waves. Now working of sea waves. So the erosion and deposition of the sea waves gives rise to coastal landforms. Okay. The erosion and deposition of sea waves gives rise to coastal landforms. I will explain you. You can look at the diagram. 3.7 features made by sea waves. You can see in the diagram sea arc, stack and sea cave. Okay. Then sea waves continuously strikes at the rock. Cracks develop. Over the time they become large and wider. Thus hollow-like caves are formed on the rocks. They want to say that as the sea waves of sea waves, as it strikes the rocks, what happens? Rock cracks. Then as the crack develops, then what happens? They become larger with time and wider also, and they form a cave-like structure. Okay. Then it is called sea cave. Okay. That is in the diagram you can see sea cave, how it is formed. As the water strikes again and again, and the rock cracks, and that crack forms the shape of a cave. That forms sea caves. Then as these cavities become bigger and bigger, only the roof of the cave remains, thus forming sea arcs. Then what happens? As this cavities become bigger and bigger, only the roof of the cave remains. Then what happens? The roof means that our roof is, in our room everyone is having roof. Okay. In terrace we are not having any roof. Did you understand? That is the roof. As the cavities become bigger and bigger, only the roof of the caves remain, thus forming sea arcs. Then how sea arcs form? You can get the answer. Further erosion blocks the roof and only walls are left. These wall-like features are called stacks. So sometimes what happens? The whole rock gets separated and it's formed like a wall, and that is stacks. Okay. The steep rocky coast rising almost vertically above sea water is called a sea cliff. Okay. Sea cliff diagram is not given in your book. I will get it from you. I will give you. Wait. See, look. This is the sea cliff. Okay. The sea wave deposits sediments along the shores forming beaches, and as you already know the meaning of beaches. Okay. Then is working of ice. Now it is about ice. Glaciers are rivers of ice. Okay. What do you mean by glaciers? Glaciers are river of ice which to erode the landscape by bulldozing soil and stone to expose the solid rock below. Glaciers carve out deep hollows. As the ice melt, they get filled up with the water and become beautiful lakes in the mountains. The material carried by the glaciers, such as rocks, big and small, sand and silt, get deposited. These deposits form glacier moraines. So Did you get this? How glaciers are formed? Then as the river goes to some cold area like mountains, Himalayas, and that area they form glaciers. Okay, that is a solid form of river. Then all these deposits of like sand, small rocks, big rocks, sand and silt, they all deposited and they form glacier moraines. Okay. The next is work of wind. So wind, an active agent of erosion and deposition in the desert is wind. Okay, am I right? Yes. In deserts you can see rocks in the shape of mushroom. Okay, commonly called mushroom rocks. They are commonly called mushroom rocks. Winds erode the lower section of the rocks more than the upper part. Therefore, such rocks have narrower base and wider top. When the wind blows, it lifts the transport sand. It lifts and transports sand, okay, from one place to another. You can see in deserts when there is wind is flowing, usually sand flows from one place to another. When it stops blowing, the sand falls and get deposited in low hills like structure, and these are called sand dunes. You can see in the diagram 3.9 figure sand dunes how they are formed. Okay, when the grains of sands are very fine and light, the wind can carry it over very long distances, and when such sand is deposited in large area, it is called loess. And when the sand are of fine and light quality, light means they are not much heavy, then they can travel long distance with air, then that formation of sand is known as loess. Okay, loess, sorry, it is loess. Large deposit of loess is found in China. Students, with this our chapter is completed. Now look at this video so that you're working for all these rivers and this all will be clear. It is an animation. We'll continue with our exercise part in